Good afternoon. My name is Nicole Nichols. I am an instructional services librarian at Wake Tech, and today we're going to talk about how you can look up scholarly articles for your English 231 American Literature class. So to get started, in the top left-hand corner of your screen, when you're on the main Wake Tech page, there's a link that says Libraries. If you'll go ahead and click on that, and then once you come to this page, this is the official library website. You'll notice that there are blocks in the middle of the page. If you'll click on the research guides block, and if you scroll down, you'll see the category for English if you'll click on that. And I've designed, or I've built, what's called a research guide for your particular class. So that's what we're going to use today, because that houses all of the different links to the databases that your teacher wants you to use. So you're going to click on this link that says English 231 Burford. And this is what your custom research guide looks like. So we're going to go to the databases tab. And if you notice, the first tab, or the first link in this box of databases, is the NC Live link. So NC Live is the main source of scholarly databases that we have at Wake Tech. So when you search this, you're pretty much searching everything we have for the most part. So that's an easy place to get started. So we're going to go ahead and click in there. And once you get to this page, you can start off by typing in a search term or a keyword in this box, but I think that we get a better search if we start off with an advanced search. So we're going to go ahead and click in there. So you'll notice that you have some fields to fill out. This first drop-down box is where you can select what type of information you're going to put in the field. I would leave it on all fields. It does a better search that way if you do that. But if you know an author or a particular publication title or anything like that, you can also use that. I'm going to leave this on all fields. So let's imagine that we have a project, and our project has to do with the Salem witch trials. So we're going to put that in here as a search term. So when you have a search term that's two words like this, sometimes when you put it in quotation marks, or when you put this in quotation marks, it will help so that the word is searched as a phrase and not as two separate words. So it won't search for witch and then trials. It will search together as witch trials. If you have any other keywords that you'd like to put in here, you can add. If you click on this plus over here, you can add as many boxes as you want to add as many keywords as you'd like. So let's say if we want to add another one, let's say we want to do Puritans. Okay. So then what we're going to do next is we have to set our publication date. So typically for subjects such as sciences or technology, we would want to have a tighter publication date, so 5 years or less. But since we're in something, and we're in literature, and we're doing things that have to do with history, we can have a longer publication date. So I'm going to put in 20. I'm going to look in the last 10 years, so 2010 to 2020. Okay. The next thing you want to set is the content type. So primarily you're going to be interested in journal articles. So if you click down here, there's a box that says journal, e-journal. You're going to select that, and then select the one that's under that says journal article. You can leave discipline alone for right now. When we get to the next page, we may need to adjust that, but for now we can leave that. Language, you may want to select English on this, if this is, if you're interested in all English language articles. Of course, you could select another language if you'd like to. So limit to, this is very important. So what we want to do under limit to is we want to make sure that this first box is checked, items with full text online, because we have a variety of articles, some of which we only have the summaries or the abstracts for, or some of these we only have citations for. So in order to get a full article, in order to just have full articles, we're going to select that box. It can be frustrating to see a title of a article that seems like it would really work, and then when you click into it, you realize you don't have access to the full article. So to save yourself from that, go ahead and check that box. The next thing we want to make sure you have checked off is the scholarly materials, including peer-reviewed. So this ensures that you get that peer-reviewed material that your instructor is requiring that you use for this project. And those are the only two that you're going to need to check under here. Also, under exclude from results, if you really are focused on scholarly sources, I would check all three of these off, because these can sometimes come into the mix of your results and they can confuse you. Newspaper articles are not peer reviewed usually, so we don't want those. We don't want book reviews. We'd rather read the actual book than have a book review. And then dissertations, we don't want to deal with those either. So we're going to make sure all three of those are checked. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and do our search. Okay, once you get your results back, notice we don't really have a whole lot of results, so that means that our search is very narrow, and if we can't find what we want in here, then we're going to have to make our search a little broader in order to get more results. So let's try that now. Maybe we'll just take off Puritans right now and see if we can get a few more results. Okay, we got a few more results, so that's a little bit better. But let's say, just for the sake of demonstrating this, let's say we want to narrow this down a little bit more. Under discipline is where you can decide on what types of journals you want your articles to come from. So if we're in an English class and we're trying to look at maybe a historical background for a piece that we've read, or if we want to look at some literary criticism, maybe we could select history in order to get some historical articles, and then maybe we can select languages and literatures in order so that those literary criticisms will be in our results as well. So once you click apply, now it's going to filter out all the results, and all of these results are only from history journals and also literature journals. The next thing you can do to narrow down your results, if you need to, is look at these subject terms. So if you click on this, these subject terms are aligned with the topics that are covered in these articles. So if you wanted to zoom in on something, say we want criticism and interpretation. So if we want to check that off, then we'll be able to, it's going to narrow down to anything about that topic. So I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to click apply. And those are the two most important things to do when you're trying to narrow down your articles. So now that you have a good list of articles to look at, let's look at one of them. Maybe this literature and medicine one looks interesting, so let's look at what that one is about. Okay, so once you get to the article, the first thing you want to do is read the abstract. So the abstract is the summary of the article, and it will tell you everything that's in the article, and it gives you an idea of whether or not this is something that you want to spend more time reading, or if you want to go on to something else. If you notice up here, these are the page numbers. This is 16 pages, so you may not want to spend all the time reading 16 pages if it's not something that's relevant to what you're researching. So again, it will save you some time if you read this abstract first. Once you have read the abstract, the next thing you might want to do, if this seems like something that is interesting and you want more articles that are like it, you can click on this tab, this references tab. And if you see this number here, 42, that represents how many articles we have from the references of this article that we have. That's the number of the articles that we have access to. So as you look through this list, all of the articles that have a title that's in blue are articles that we have access to. So this is a great way to use a great article that you find to lead you to other great articles. The other way that you can find new articles or find more articles if you need more is look at this related items column. A lot of times there will be some great, again, of course, related items to the article that you're currently looking at. And then if you need a copy of this, you can click on Save as PDF, and that will save a PDF copy to your computer for you to print off when you need that. Also, one thing you can do is if you need the citation, you can click on this Cite button, and it should pull up the citation. So you can set this to your citation style, which is going to be MLA 8th edition. Now, a caution about this is that this is computer generated, so there may be some glitches in there, and so you always want to take this by the ILC or by the Writing Center, or look through this with your manual to make sure that this is correct before you turn it into an instructor for a grade. For the most part, it should be correct, but it's always good to check behind it. And then if you'd like a copy of this for later, you can always email this to yourself. So you can click on this email button, full text and citations, check on this box that says the bibliography, make sure this says your citation style, and then go ahead and put your email address in here, and then your name, and then you might want to put a reminder in here about the subject of what this article is about, and then once you click continue, it will send the article to your email box. Okay, so that is about a nutshell about what to do in terms of finding articles for your projects through NC Live and you know, to get your scholarly articles. If you have any questions at all, please you know, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information will be on your research guide, and also your instructor, Mr. Burford, will have forwarded my information to you. And I wish you luck in your class, and thank you for listening.